What's going on, guys? It's Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series Archive Collection Imperial Hovertank Driver. This is a figure that I had the original version of, and I figured, you know what, I'll pick up the archive release of it. It was on sale, I believe, with Big Bad Toy Store, so I figured, you know what, why not pick it up? This figure was part of the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary, and so they did, I think, 3 total waves of archive collection figures for that year with the Lucasfilm 50th badge, and that's why there's the gold coloring as opposed to the usual just stark black and white. On the back of the card back, you also have the Black Series logo, the word archive, the character's name in gold, as I mentioned, and then on the bubble card, you do have the black and white illustration of the character, which looks awesome. His one accessory he comes with in the figure itself. On the back of the card back, you have that same illustration we saw on the front, blown up a bit, the Black Series logo, the character's name, and just a little brief bio in about 1,000 different languages. This one reads, Imperial combat drivers operate the Empire's arsenal of armored repulsor vehicles, relying on the thick skin of their vehicles to protect them in battle. And with that, that's pretty much all there is to say about the packaging, so let's get this figure opened and we'll check him out real quick. Alright, here's the figure out of the box. Before we check him out, we'll check out his one accessory. This is the E11 blaster rifle. This is the standard issue weapon for most Imperial stormtroopers. This is the version that comes with the flashlight attachment. Pretty solid weapon if you ask me. It's done in a nice gunmetal gray sculpt. No paint applications or weathering whatsoever, but that's to be expected with the Black Series line. And here we have our Hovertank driver. Now I do think he has some very nice weathering. I like the kind of grime that's built up on the bottom of the helmet and the chest armor here, and I like the consistent dirtiness of this armor. It's going to look nice on the shelf because it's actually weathered. I do wish that Hasbro would weather some more of their troopers instead of making them just all stark clean, but I guess that also works because maybe some people want those clean troopers and then they can just dirty them up if they want. It's got some nice silver paint applications for the buckles up here, as well as some black that's intermittently spread out throughout the midsection area, but aside from that, and the weathering being very nice, it's a very plain look. To cover his articulation very briefly, you do have a single ball and hinge joint at the top here, so he can look down, he can look up. He doesn't have any tilt whatsoever, maybe a little bit in there, and he can look left and right there. He has no butterfly joints in here, but what he does have is just a ball and swivel, so you can get the shoulders up to the 90-degree mark, and they do a full 360-degree swivel. He has some deep cut single jointed elbows, which will get you to 90-degree bend, as well as a swivel there. And he does have a vertical hinge here at the wrist, as well as a horizontal hinge at the left wrist. He's got a ball joint at the midsection, so he's got some good solid range of motion there. He's got a ball joint here at the hips, which also has some nice range here. And then he has a cut for a thigh swivel about midway down the thigh. He's got some very ugly double jointed pinned knees. These, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of. They have a good range of motion, however, they just look really ugly from the front. And then, of course, he has the forward-facing pin for rocker at the ankle. He's got that ankle hinge, which doesn't really go forward at all because of the armor, and then it goes back a bunch. So for when this figure came out in about 2016, this was actually good articulation. This is a big step up from a lot of the other figures that were releasing around this time, so I'm not going to dog on the figure for having articulation that's not up to 2024 standards when it didn't come out in 2024. This guy features no weapon storage, however you can fit the blaster very nicely into the hand. You can see the trigger finger fits nicely into the trigger guard, and he can hold the blaster in 2 hands as well. Another thing this figure can do is raise the blaster right up to his face, so you can make it look like he's actually aiming down the sights of the blaster. And although very difficult, it is possible to get this guy into a one-legged running pose. And that's really it. Not much to really write home to when it comes to this release. I mean, it is an archive edition, you know, it's already been released once before, and that was when it was a new character. This one is one that if you like to troop build, you can pick this up. I myself, I'm a huge fan of the Imperial Trooper variants, so I knew I had to get this one. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you guys for the next one. May the Force be with you.